Holy shit. We are recording, just so you all know. Anything you say now will be used against you. You guys ready?
I know.
We're born ready.
We are going live.
According to my computer, we're live right now.
Yeah, we are.
So maybe you should say hi.
Hi. How is everyone?
Well, I'm good.
I'm better than good. I'm great.
What are we doing
I'm
here?
with you guys.
Like, I didn't have going to the disco on my bingo card for tonight, but where's the disco?
Kinda did.
Down.
You did. Isn't
Down
that
for
what
disco.
it's all about?
I wish I had some disco lights and all that jazz, but I don't.
You know, I could go grab. I've got disco balls all around me.
Really?
Yeah.
So bizarre.
You apparently do not know my girlfriend that well, then.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I actually don't have them all around me. I'm looking for one, and I thought there was more around. I'm not taking off this.
You don't have balls all around your head? Is that what you're telling us?
Well, I do like. Well, I'm not going to.
Oh, you do? Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
This is getting bad fast.
So what's everyone been up to?
Apparently, I've been walking around with balls around my head, but
I just got done canvassing in the rain, but I'm feeling good about my city commission campaign. So everybody's had a lot of good experiences knocking on the doors and doing the things, and my zines are pretty cool. They're very, very punk rock, I think.
That's good news.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see one. Not now, but in the future.
Take us page by page. What did you do this weekend, Jeff?
Whoa, who's this? Benny.
Hey.
Hi.
The man behind the disco ball.
Hi, everybody.
I would introduce you now, but we're going to give people a chance to pop on. So let's just catch up. What's everyone been up to?
I asked you already. And you didn't
I had a wonderful weekend. I went to Pioneer Valley Ska Fest in Springfield, Massachusetts, and saw, almost a dozen bands that I hadn't seen before, plus some favorites that I've seen a bunch of times.
Like who?
Well, I didn't see Sorry Sweetheart because I was doing an interview because the schedules got a little whacked. I was really upset about that. I heard them. My interview was like right outside the stage area. So they promised me they're going to come back next weekend. There's that. And then some of the sets that I did see that I love so much were Left Hand Hot Dog. Were amazing. Everybody told me they would be. The Doom Stompers. I'm wearing my Doom Stompers shirt right now. And Step and Razor Blades were really good. I didn't see their set either. I heard it though. I missed a lot of sets. But the one set I can't stop thinking about is Catch-22 because Jeff Davidson had to fill in for Ryan. He couldn't make it for some reason. And the energy was incredible. Like so much crowd participation. And it was just really cool to see him up there with them before Supernova.
Are you sure it wasn't because your son was on stage singing?
Well, that was pretty fucking sick too. I cried. I was not expecting that at all. Like, beautiful. I didn't think Ox would ever get on stage with Catch-22. That was fun. And then he crowd surfed to them a bunch too, of course.
Nice.
He was a skanking fool while he was up there too. He was just tearing it up.
Well, the best thing was Jeff afterwards, he came down to talk to him after the show and he was like, I was watching you all weekend and you were so into it and I was hoping to bring you up. And I was like, that was so nice of him. Good guy. So how about you? What you guys been up to?
So for me, it's not what I've done, but it's what I will be doing.
Oh yeah?
So
what's that?
Here will be my shameless plug. So we will be having our first Be The Scene Presents show in Michigan. And it's going to be on the 12th of August in Kalamazoo. So if you happen to be anywhere near Kalamazoo, get up there. We have Hans Gruber and the Diehards, which was on this show just recently. It is an amazing live show, along with Tobacco Justice, which is, see, you know, and Boob Sweat. And if you haven't seen Boob Sweat yet, they are a band to watch. I'm very excited about them in general. They're one of those bands, and there's very few. The Boy Detective is one of those, and I think Famous ID is the other one, where I've been like, hey guys, you got to see this band. Just come see them. They're amazing. And I'm adding Boob Sweat to that. So I know at least 1, 2, at least two of us, three of us maybe. Have you seen them, Benny?
Ooh, Boob Sweat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were playing at Splishy Splashy.
I couldn't remember if you were there at that point.
Oh, I was there all day, baby, because Dads on Couches started that bad boy.
Fair. So we're hoping to get everyone to show up in Kalamazoo, which is on the other side or on the west side of the state, and come check out some bands. And we'll talk about it later. But we have another show coming up on that side of the world in a few months. People are going to want to be at, but we'll save that for later on. So that's what I got. Come to Kalamazoo on the 12th. Skank and watch some punk rock.
Nice. I don't think I'll be able to make it, but I hope to see videos.
Same. I wish I could. I
Janice,
just
you're
don't
up.
get the time. So I got to make my first trip up to Scranton to Union Vapors to see Wakata, who were up here from Florida, and they had Butterbrain from New York, and the What Nows were also there, our local heroes. So it was a very cool show, and I love the idea of throwing it in a vape shop. They have actually created such a cool community there. They have a game area, they have TVs with video games, they have, vending machines. It's such a great laid back experience, and they draw a huge crowd. I was impressed. Has it? Yeah, nobody else has ever been there. Has anybody been there? Scranton's probably a little outside your bubbles.
I haven't been there recently, no.
There was a good program about a paper company that was from Scranton, Ohio.
That was my first thought too.
The great, I would buy paper from them for sure. Their manager, Mr. Scott, love him. Love everything about him.
Yep.
What was that called again?
Yeah.
The Warehouse?
No,
Union
there was a
Vapors.
show called The Warehouse, so actually.
It was something like that. It's something to do with like selling, I don't know, paper or something. It's something like that.
Yeah. Apparently, if you drive around Scranton, you could take like the visual tour of things that popped up in the show from time to time.
Like the Chili's? Was it Chili's?
I guess there's some famous clock tower in the opening or something, and you can see that.
Yeah, like the Krasinski or whatever. Before he did he went around and like taped the city, and that's where a lot of that footage comes from. Was like him going around that city to kind of get in the character and trying to see what it's all about. Yep. I know a lot about The Office, so we can talk about that, but we're not going to waste people's time.
That's not what we're here for.
That'll be another podcast another day.
So you've met all of us, and I think you all know who Benny is. Benny Capaul from The Boy Detective, but in case you don't, now you do.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Benny? I would ask what you've been up to, but I want to know what you're doing here right now.
So first and foremost, all of you, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I want to just say how glad I am that the announcement really of this album, you guys are the first. Like, yeah, we did release it on Punkerton Records. We did release that we're going to be selling them, but literally it hasn't even been a week. It has been like 2 days, 3 days or something. So you are the first exclusive interview talking about Disco Lunch. It's so good. I can use the actual album name now. Nice. And not, there's a new album coming out in November, blurb, blurb, blurb. And everybody's like, yeah, sure. That's what they all say, right? Isn't that what everybody's waiting for, the streetlight? That's going on. No offense. Streetlight, if you're out there and you hear this, please have the Boy Detective open. That'd be awesome. But there's my shameless plug.
Good job.
We did get to play for Catch-22, and Catch-22 is amazing. In fact, my guitarist to this day swears that even if we did play a Streetlight show, he's only doing it because he's doing it for Catch-22. So
I love that so much.
He is legit like old school when it comes to that.
And they're great people.
They are. They really are, and they put on still to this day an amazing set. And if Catch-22 didn't exist, I really don't think the Boy Detective would exist either. They're one of those bands that have been in Nick Good, the guitarist, and basically my right-hand man, and I'm his right-hand man too. We kind of started this together, but basically there's some bands that have really resonated with us, and Catch-22 is definitely one of them. Caseby Nights is to this day one of the greatest albums of all time. when it comes to the ska punk realm. So I'm just really excited to talk about Disco Lunch. But if it's okay with you all, can I do the thank you so I can get them out of the way so I don't forget somebody?
Go for it.
And then
Go for it.
Absolutely.
So first and foremost, I want to thank my family, my dad and my brothers for being so supportive, but also, and my mom for allowing me to get away from the funeral home to do this. So thank you, family. My beautiful wife, who is my high school sweetheart, and our two beautiful children, who sadly have to miss me sometimes because I'm either working or I am playing at a show, sweating it out for all of you. So I want to really thank them because they're amazing. I want to really thank my band because I am surrounded by amazing and very talented people. And I wouldn't be on the show to tell you all about this amazing album, which I'm going to be honest with you, is everything and anything you want from the Boy Detective. There is everything on this album that makes us who we are. There's a lot of ska punk, obviously, but we really delved into the hardcore and the emo side of us, which is something that people really resonate with, specifically chants and things like that. And we added a song with our name famously plugged in, like we always do.
Nice.
It's an incredible 10 songs, and we decided to go with 10 songs because instead of adding a bunch of filler, we thought, hey, these 10 songs are going to rip together, and that's what we're going to do. We're not going to add any filler to this. This is just what it is. But yeah, I want to thank my band. They're incredible people and very talented. I'd like to thank our label, Punkerton Records. Thank you so much, Brandon, for dealing with me through this whole experience. I mean, I wouldn't be on this label and have this opportunity to release the record that we have and the way that we have it if it wasn't for Brandon deciding to open my crazy email about detectives and lost cases and cold files and all this that had nothing to do with our music. So thank you, Brandon, for that. I want to thank Roger Lima. You guys might know him. He's in a small band called Less Than Jake. He was very nice enough to allow us to come down to his studio, the Moathouse, and have an amazing experience that I will always cherish. And then for some reason, found a way to really make our sound the way that I think we always intended it to. And then we also had Eric Taft do the mixing and mastering. He has also done the mixing and mastering as well as Roger for the Joker's Republic albums, which is, by the way, our new label mates who are pretty amazing, right? They got their new album coming out. So we're really excited about that. I want to thank, like I said, my label. I want to thank Roger. I want to thank Eric. I really want to thank Maggie. She did all the art for this, and I have never been so pleased with art for the Boy Detective as I am. No offense to anybody who's ever done art for us. It's been wonderful. But literally, we kind of gave Maggie a kind of idea, and she blew it out of the water. And you'll see a lot of this art in the next couple months coming out with merchandise and also the record and the inserts that are going to be super cool when you see them. We're going to have posters that go with the album, which is super neat, that we'll be signing, and for the release shows, which we'll get into later. I don't want to throw that out right now, but you will be able to buy one if you come to one of those amazing release shows. So I really want to thank Maggie. On top of that, I want to thank you guys. Like, I want to thank SKAgazine and Michigan Ska for being the incredible human beings that they are. I want to thank all the bands who gave us a try, like Five Iron Frenzy or Jay Navarro and the Traders, Catch 22, Save Ferris, all these bands that allowed us to sweat on their stage, and then they slip on it, specifically me. So I apologize. And I want to thank.
You're never on the stage, Benny. Come on.
I apparently to Nick, I am more on the stage than I've ever been in the Boy Detective now. So instead of 2 minutes, I'm up there 2.5 minutes. So
I would agree. I think the last show I saw you were on stage for at least a good 4 minutes.
Well, what's nice is now my band is spending a lot more time down. So I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of space up there now. So maybe I'll go out and try it out. You know, we got to play in, we finally made it to St. Andrews the other day. We didn't get to play the top, but we got to play the Shelter, which is incredible venue for us Detroitians.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is they have that catwalk. So I'm like, this is even cooler. I don't have to be on stage. I don't have to be in the crowd. I can be on this like catwalk and not like, jump into Nick or hit a horn in my face like I have before. It's not fun to get the trombone slide in your mouth, and it hurts. It really, really hurts. I love you, Jared, but whew, me and him can be fire and ice at times when it comes to that. And it's been absolutely wonderful. But Michigan ska, Philly ska, anybody who is really, I really want to thank the people that gave us a shot, and the promoters, like everybody out there. I'm not even talking about like real promoters. I'm talking about all the fans, all the people who have been so nice and incredible. I love how the Boy Detective specifically has almost like a family of friends. Brandon calls it a cult, and I can understand.
I was going to call it a cult, actually. We're not a cult, but we're a cult.
It's kind of a cult. And if we want to go to Camp Pennsylvania, because that's a cult too, that'd be wonderful. Just going to throw that plug out there. We'll be talking about other festivals probably that I really want to plug this year, because I think this year is the year for the Boy Detective to hit a lot of festivals. We would love to start incorporating ourselves in the other scenes that may or may not have had a chance to see us, because as we've talked about before, it's our live show that really hooks you. I mean, this album is going to do a lot to get you there, but once you're there, we got you. So thank you.
It really is. I was gonna say, I've seen you. So the show in Ferndale, I think there's a lot of your recent show in Ferndale. There's a lot of people there who had not seen you before. So it is really cool to see people, and even I guess the show with Fire and Frenzy here in Grand Rapids. It's very cool to see people who haven't seen you before and see how they digest that. Because it starts off, people are like, what's going on? And 2 songs in, everybody's like, I love these fucking people. So I definitely think that it grows.
I think you're absolutely right. I love playing for new people. I tell it to my band all the time. The only problem with playing with new people is they don't know what to do. So they kind of stare at me. And I realized for a while, I thought like, oh, maybe they don't like us. I realize it's not that. It's just they're so surprised because they're not used to bands like actually interacting with them. Like specifically the people in the back of the room who are purposely staying in the back of the room so they don't have to have somebody interact with them.
And then all of a sudden the pit is going around them with the bass guitar going in circles. And
oh my gosh, yes. And then we do the cuddle puddle and they're like, it's like the Peter Griffin, like, am I supposed to sculpt the penis? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, like, am I supposed to lay down with all these sweaty people? Like, and the answer is
always yes. Yeah.
The answer is yes. And if you come to our show, please enjoy the cuddle puddle. It has been an absolute wonderful thing. So do we want to get into this? How do we want to approach Disco Lunch? And I want to thank everybody like Dane and Lee, who is a part of Punkerton, that's really like spreading our name, all the musicians, everybody. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably missing somebody, but realize I do appreciate you and respect you. It's just, there's so many people. So
we, unbeknownst to you, the rest of us have an outline.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So we may or may not follow that. So we will start with that for Disco Lunch with wondering just a little bit. And actually, this is a good question for people, for a band in general, and those who are ska fans. You have so many amazing, talented people in that band. You really do. How does this album come together? Like when you have all those various parts and all those different people, like how do the songs come to be what they are?
So I think I've alluded to this a lot in the past, but I'll really put it in perspective. So eventually this is going to lead to like the Power Rangers when they get together and they join the Megazord, Zorg or Zorg. Is it a D or a G? I think it's a Zorg, right? It's a G, right? Or is it D?
We're all just going to agree with you, whichever one you go with.
My band is like really been. I think maybe it's Megazord with a D. Anyways, beside the point. Nick Good and I started this as a recording project. Dorcas Malorcas came out. That was literally just us being parents, figuring out this whole being married and having 2 kids and figuring out what that looks like. and still being able to write music and record it. And then fast forward to Band from the Bathtub, we get a full band together. We start playing shows and we start realizing like, oh, like people actually really like to hear this. Like, okay, all right. Because we were always in punk bands, but like I was in a horror punk band. He was in a hardcore band here in Monroe County. And Monroe County doesn't really take too fondly of the punk scene. So it's all country or metal, weirdly enough. So we didn't really fit that mold, but at that time we didn't really know how to get into Detroit and Toledo scenes. So we played a ton here in Monroe County and never really figured out how to like get out. So we kind of got with the right people. The music started coming. Nick is really the mastermind behind a lot of this. He puts everything kind of together and then he sends it out to us. And then we kind of fill in the gaps. I will say for this album, this is the most writing lyrically that I've ever had a part of, which is wonderful. In fact, there is one song completely that I wrote, which is one of the reasons why I love this album. This album contains songs that have been in Nick and I's lyric and song binder for years, including the first single that you will all eventually hear sometime soon. And it's called Beth Truss. And literally that song, Nick and I have probably played for 15 to 20 years. And it just never really hit the way it does now. Goodyear is another one that has been in and out of our, we're going to talk about all these, right? So I'm not, there's a lot of songs that Nick and I have like messed with, but they all are different now. And of course, we do what the Boy Detective always does, and we nod to other bands in a ton of these songs. And once you hear, I'm going to be honest, once you hear track one, which you will eventually, your beautiful ears will hear, you're going to be like, okay, they're still up to their old tricks, which is, I think, wonderful of a band, right? Is to be able to create new music, but have something that tethers you to their old stuff, right? Keeps you focused on. Nothing wrong with bands that really just pull a 180, but I think the Boy Detective fans want to hear more Boy Detective, at this point, and we are willing to give it to you. So that's so basically Nick comes with it, kind of gives us this idea. Ricky and Zach are just incredible. The bass, like percussion side of everything. So they're just, Ricky has talked to me before and said, I'm just excited to be able just to do whatever I want in a ska band. There's no limits to a bassist in a ska band. And I would go as far to say that the really true best ska bands tend to have an incredible bassist that whether it gets hidden but it's just basically that idea. He keeps the groove with the drummer. And I'm just very lucky to have a very punk and hardcore drummer as well. So they're kind of, doing the backbone. Then you have all these horns come in, right? You have Jared and Seth, and then Emily, who is the newest member of our band. She's also another Ida girl, which is completely awesome to have another IDN around. But they're laying down horn parts that are just incredible. Of course, they're music majors, right? So they're talking to each other, and I have no idea what they're talking about. I never learned, like, I did do choir a little bit, and I did musical theater for a while. So they'd give me like sound music, but like I always did it by ear. So I'd be looking and I'm like, I think this goes higher. So I'll just kind of wait for like, okay, that's it. That's the note they want. Okay. Or like if the music teacher would be like, yeah, that's it. I'd be like, okay, I got it. Like C. And I'd be like, oh, it was a C. I thought it was a B the whole time. I just kind of like make up, but they'll be talking about like concert stuff. So they'll be like, oh, that's got to be in the concert C and G. And I'm like, I have no idea what you are talking about right now. So it's just wonderful to be surrounded by musicians that not only know their craft, but are willing to craft around me at times. Like, Benny, you're singing that low. You really need to be singing that high. Okay. I think it sounds weird. No, it doesn't. Just do it. I'm like, okay, cool. So then we basically put the song together. Like I said, Nick usually has a skeleton of the lyrics or an idea. And then him and I, when things get closer for the song to be either played out or to be recorded, we kind of sit down and fine tooth comb it. But the problem with that mostly is like, I'm just giving him a bunch of ideas. And I would say out of the 1,000 ideas I give Nick, 2 of them are gold. So he's got to, it's like scavenge through the garbage that I'm sending him all the time. And my band, I tend to write the most illiterate way for my band, and it's kind of become a thing, so I purposely do it now. So when we're writing in our like band chats and stuff, I'm usually writing with Z's instead of S's, or I'm talking in slang. And now the band is starting to do it, so I'm sure Nick is getting really pissed at that, being a grammar major, a teacher or educator major. So anyways, that's basically how it comes. And then somehow the final touches get put on it. Usually something, a mistake happens and it just kind of works. Or like, hey, I was listening to Korn yesterday. Let's do a Korn breakdown. People tend to like Korn breakdowns, or Limp Bizkit. Let's do a Limp Bizkit thing. Cool. Let's do that. That sounds great. And that's kind of where we're at. Does that make sense? Does that answer?
Yeah. And then I know we're going to talk about some of the songs, but and you can always correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of the songs, there's a theme of lyrically what goes through these songs. And maybe I just feel that way because different songs hit people like in their own way. But to myself, do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear my theory on your lyrics or no?
Sure. I'd love to hear your.
Okay. I really, and I feel like it's 2 things. I feel like probably 7 to 8 of these songs are just that coming to terms or coming to that point in life where it's, hey, welcome to the Middle Ages. So like, I feel like this is just that that dad or that person, and maybe it's because I've been there, and that's why I hear it that way, but who is in that Middle Ages and dealing with that, and the kind of the like the frustration and the oh fuck, like these days are gone, and the love of like the days that you're in, like almost kind of hitting each other at the same time. You guys are, I think, lyrically like very aggressively transparent. Like your lyrics say those things that like when you're going through moments, like you're thinking these things, but you wouldn't tell other people. But the boy detective is going to say those things for us, kind of thing. So those are my thoughts lyrically. Is that it's a welcome to living as a dad, and or as a person as you hit that like middle spot in life, and then it's a very honest look at that of what's going on in people's minds.
Absolutely. I love your quotation Middle Ages, but let's throw Middle Ages being or living in the Dark Ages right now. Like the idea that like there's a lot of horrible stuff going on right now. And I don't really want to talk about a ton of that because we have all beat this dead horse, and I would assume, and we'll be beating this dead horse for the next 3 3/4 of a year or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say that this music is a really good way to promote being better people, and also giving you and giving other listeners this opportunity to be okay living in this like middle age of your life and trying to figure out how to be cool for your kids, and what's going to be really important for them later, what's also going to be really important for you and your wife later or right now. In this idea that Nick has done a wonderful job of lyrically being honest and transparent with being goofy, but it doesn't come across goofy. It's I don't know how he does it, right? It's like this whole idea, sometimes you listen to a lyricist and you'd be like, if anybody else sang that song, people would be like, that's a joke, or that they're faking it, right? Or that would never work, nobody's ever going to sing that. But like for that artist, it just works. And I got to give Nick a lot of credit that he is just, yes, there you go, Donnie. Woo. But yeah, Nick does a wonderful job. But yes, there is a ton about being parents. There is a ton about pretending that we're still young, but completely acknowledging that we are not young anymore.
Yeah,
absolutely. You nailed it, Eric. But also, like, I think if anybody gave any ideas of what our song lyrics about, that's real too, right? Isn't that the best lyricist? Is like you have your own feel from it.
Yep.
It's actually just about teddy bears most of the time. And just people just assume it's about growing up and getting older. It's about disco balls, really. Oh, you know what? The first question should have been, why did you guys come up with disco lunch?
That was actually going to be the third. That was going to be the third question.
Okay, so what's number two? What's number two? Oh, you already guessed it?
No, number one was the creative process. Number two was the theme. Number three was now, where the fuck did you get the title?
Okay. So if you guys had to guess how we came up with Disco Lunch, I just would a quick, doesn't have to, I don't want a full synopsis, just like what would be your thought if someone's like, okay, the Boy Detective just came out with Disco Lunch. Like, where do you think they got that from?
I want to take a guess. Was your first Cuddle Puddle under a disco ball?
Gosh, I wish that was the right answer.
Fuck, I do too. That's all I got.
This is the weirdest thing. Since we knew the album was going to be called Disco Lunch, every venue we've played at, there has been a disco ball there, which is really weird to think about. Because think about how many times you go into a venue and never think about a disco ball. But 90% of them have one, right? It's either like a goofy one or they have one right in the middle. And it's always been like literally the first show after we came up with Disco Lunch, there was like a venue with a disco ball, and then the next one had 3, and then the next one had like 2, and there's like, it's just this idea that like we're must be on the thing. Eric, do you have any guess how we came up with Disco Lunch?
I don't. I was really hoping I'd have something very good.
Nothing. No. Janice, what do you think?
I keep thinking Naked Lunch, but in disco clothes, but I'm sure that's not it.
What does that even mean, Janice?
Naked Lunch is a very scary movie. If you don't know, I'm not getting into it.
You know if you know, Eric. Okay.
Wow.
Know if you know.
I feel so relevant right now. Thank you, guys.
Ryan, it's got to be you, buddy. Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Something you guys were watching? Maybe some Travolta shit or something? I don't know. So does it have something to do with Travolta?
Hold on, Benny.
Yeah.
Swayze.
Before you tell us what it really is.
I got to guess.
Somebody's got to guess probably in the chat, right?
No.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm not looking at the chat. I should be. I'm the moderator. Shit. Nobody has a guess.
Okay. Cool.
But I want to ask you to do me a favor. At Pioneer Valley, for a couple of the interviews, we were talking about how the bands came up with their names, and we played a little game.
Okay.
One is the truth. One is a lie. I want you to give me 2, and then we need to guess what the truth is and what a lie is.
For why the Boy Detective occurs?
Yep.
But we all know the answer.
Oh, they might know. Well, you who know can't guess, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So the first reason for the Boy Detective, when I was really young, there was a person that literally broke into the funeral home. And I was staying home sick. So we lived right across. So whenever there was a funeral done, my mom would clean up with my dad, and they clean up the funeral home, get it ready for the next family. And somebody literally broke in, and I didn't know they did. So I came down the stairs because there's an apartment above the funeral home, and there was this gentleman there, and it kind of freaked me out. But I was like, it's a funeral home. People walk in all the time. No big deal. So I went back up, and nobody was there, and I couldn't find my parents. So this random guy came and took me out of the funeral home, and he was a detective. And he was like, hey, I'm detective, blah, blah, blah. Your parents are outside. I got to grab you. I'm like, okay. And he took me out. And so I just remember having that experience and thinking, like, that was such an interesting thing for a detective to go grab a kid from a funeral home that's the son of a funeral director. And he was a detective. So that's the first one. The second one is there is a book by an author named Joe Mano. And he wrote a book called The Boy Detective Fails. And in this book, it's basically like this idea of you remember the old Hardy Boys, or what was the girl detective book?
Nancy Drew.
Thank you. Like Nancy Drew books. And so this author decided to make an adult version of a detective who's still a kid solving all these adult crimes, and that like the community expects him to solve it. And like all these like adult things happen to him, including I think his sister dies by suicide. So like all these adult huge things happening to this kid who's a detective. Okay. Third is there was this game show where have to have like the letters show up like Wheel of Fortune or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was they were solving these words, and it ended up being The Boy Detective. These are three.
Do you want to have the people?
I just asked them to guess, but there is a 15-second delay, so let's give them a minute.
You give them a minute.
Yeah.
So while they're thinking about that, can I give my hypothesis on the name of the album?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So I think as we look at what I have discussed as a theme of the album at this point in time,
yep,
here's where I'm going with it. I'm gonna say that, there's a point in life when we all want to be at the disco. We want to be at that point where we're all cool and we're all dancing and we're up till 4 a.m. and people love us and we're not doing cocaine. That's the important part. But then we get older and we have families and we do these things, but yet part of us still longs. We still long for that point where we're cool and having a good time. So disco. So why don't we move that to lunchtime?
Because we got to go to bed early, right?
Yes.
We can't be up.
We can be hungry, so we can
the
have
kids are in school.
Yeah, we got to be in bed by 8.
We're still like feel like we're relevant and like important to people, and yet still be home after school, take care of the kids, and eat lunch and go to bed to be up the next morning.
Are you looking to do lines of cocaine at lunch with people, Eric? Is that what's going on?
It's lunchtime, baby. They'll never know. They'll never know. Eric, there was a lot more thought in what you just did than the actual reasoning. Disco lunch was never a thought on our radar by any of the band members. Disco lunch happened. Okay, am I waiting on the answer first of the three, or do you want the story?
Yeah, so we have a couple 2s and we have 1 3.
Okay, what is you who are part of SKAgazine who haven't?
I say 2.
Okay, Ryan,
2.
Janice, we're gonna hold you accountable
Peer
for
pressure. I mean, 2 sounds pretty likely.
They might be trying to converse you into 2, but really it's 3.
It's a call. What? It's a 3? It's 3?
It's 2.
Wow.
Joe Mano. Nick and I are avid readers, and Nick introduced me to this book called The Boy Detective Fails, and it's absolutely wonderful. There's literally a decoder ring in it where you can like decode secret words and things. It's one of the best top books I've ever read in my life.
So for the people who haven't listened to any of your other interviews or ours with you before, tell them where the name of the band came from.
The Boy Detective came from a book by Joe Manos called The Boy Detective Fails. If you have not read that book, go read it. It's absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. Great.
So we kind of had an unfair advantage when we guessed number 2.
Number 2 is the win. Now, Disco Lunch actually came from our experience at the Moathouse. I was actually singing, doing one of my things, and one of the amazing things Roger did with me was he wanted to make sure I pronunciated words better. So you as a listener can hopefully hear my words better. And I've already had theater and stuff. So for the most part, I can pronunciate. But the problem is there are certain words that you switch, singers, like singers that do this all the time. You don't actually use, like you're actually saying another word. To the listener, you're hearing the word that we're trying to get across, but I'm actually not actually singing that word. If that makes sense to any of you.
It does.
So I was singing a line, and we might get to this or not, but there's a line in one of the songs that says discount lunch. And Roger, as I'm in the vocal booth, pulls his head out and goes, "Did he just say disco lunch?" And Nick from the other room, who was not in that room, comes running in and goes, "That's the album name." So Roger Lima is actually the reason behind Disco Lunch. But that word,
that was close.
words are so amazing because all I could think of was like when I was in high school or grade school, the big thing to do was to go to like the local roller rink. And you had that disco ball on, you'd be playing all those cool songs. You would think you were so cool, like doing all these tricks, because I was an inline skater. So everybody else was on the 4 and I was on well, I guess we're all on 4, but I was doing inline and they were doing the regular like disco 4 or whatever. And I was like, oh man, I'm so cool. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that girl to give me her number. You know what I mean? Like that idea of like when you're a kid and you're just like you think you're the coolest thing, and you're listening to Ghostbusters in a rink that you're going around in circles. But anyways, that's that.
God, I miss those days.
Oh, the best days, man. Disco lunch. Plus, Nick is a foodie. He is very into like restaurants, specifically fast food. In fact, when we were going down to Gainesville, he got an app that tells you every restaurant that's important to hit on your way down from 75 from Michigan to Florida. And he was so excited. He was really excited about that. More probably than actually recording this album. So Disco Lunch, that's where it comes from. But it fits. It just magically fits who we are, weirdly enough. I think
you mentioned Roger Lima, and I know Ryan was just pondering some stuff about that. So any questions, Ryan, regarding that?
Questions? Who's Roger Lima, and why would you guys want to work with him?
So this is one of those things. I was just on a podcast recently where I said, take your shots. And when we were talking about writing this, I wanted to reach out to a couple different people. John Feldman was on the top of the list. Didn't get that far. If you don't know who John Feldman is, he's the lead singer of Goldfinger and an incredible producer of some of the greatest albums recently. Bill Stevenson was my second person out to do an album because I think that would be incredible. And one thing that I've always loved about his recordings is his drums are just perfect. But then we were like, Joker's Republic, Necessary Evil is one of the first actual like touring bands the Boy Detective actually played with in a slum in Detroit. Joel Tacey,
right?
Yeah, at the Universe building was what it was called. Literally, there was people cutting up mushrooms in the living room, and then there was a room in the back that was like safe, like a safe haven but there was like bullet holes in the. It was an interesting experience, for a night of boy. But what's weird about that show was not only did we get to play for Joker's Republic, and I got to meet Joel, which for the first time, if you meet Joel is a wonderful individual, but you are not expecting Joel to be Joel. And then what was even weirder about it, a week before that show, or a week after that show, he ended up doing a magic show in Ida. In our local library in front of my kids, and he found a picture of me sitting in the back with my kids were watching his show, and I was like, that's so wild. But anyways, that first show we played, Joker Republic was headlining. We played before them, and of course Jay Navarro just randomly shows up on his scooter, on his Vespa, and I'm like, oh, so I get to sing to a rock star with this horrible system that you can't hear anything I'm doing. And I just remember after the show, Nick and I gave him a free shirt, and he said, hey, that line, we're all fucking doomed and we're wasting our time. I think that's one of the coolest lines I've ever heard from a band. Nice. And I told the Machines that was really cool that you guys did that. I was like, and we just died. We were just like, oh my God, Jay Navarro likes us. Yeah, whatever. So that's Joker's Republic. And just so we listened to Necessary Evil because of that. And that album was so good, and we found out Roger did the first album. So we were like, man, he knows how to write or record a ska band. Not to mention, he's been basically doing a lot of the Less Than Jake stuff since the beginning. So he knows how to record horns. So this is the perfect example. And I remember reaching out to him, and he's like, listen, like, we gave him we had rough tracks, and he's like, I don't know what else I can really help you with. You guys basically have a great album. And I was like, we just want your name attached to it at this point. Like, and I'm so glad we went that way. And I thanked him after. I was like, I remember when you told me you were trying to get me not to come. And he's like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, dude, I love this album because of that. And he's like, well, I didn't really help you that much. I'm like, okay, all right, Roger, sure. But yeah, so that's how we had to set that up. That was the first experience we had with trying to get 7 of us within 2.5 weeks to record 10 songs. So how we did that, because of schedules and work and all that, Zach actually went down by himself first, got the drums done. Ricky went by himself, got the bass done. Nick went down, did guitars, and then I came up with the horns, and we did horns and vocals to end it. It was a wonderful experience. His Moathouse is so cool, and it's got like windows everywhere, and literally it's a moat. There's literally a stream that goes. You have to cross a bridge, and there's turtles, and it's Florida, so it was wonderful. It was hot. It's very
Sounds
hot.
pretty magical though.
It was because when we started this, you know, there's always been 2 bands that have been addressed by Nick and I, and that's Suicide Machines, which we will get there. We will play for them, and Less Than Jake. And we got to record with basically one of the members, and it'll be an experience that we'll always, you know, and I mean, the album speaks for itself. Yes, the album is very good because of what we wrote, but that's not everything. These individuals, these Rogers and Erics of the world, really put everything into a perfect hearing situation. I don't know. It's just you tell me, listeners, after the album comes out, what you think. You know, after Exhibition and Art Theft and Band. Hi, Mikey.
So you're talking earlier about how Zach and Ricky lay down like the beat for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
They hold everything true. They hold the bass. Like having them set up and record first makes sense. That's not a process you guys have used in the past, right?
We've always kind of did the old school way, or at least the way we always kind of did. I mean, I've been doing drums and bass first since the beginning. Usually vocals are one of the last things. I've heard of some producers and recorders that make the vocals go first, but that seems really strange. But it would be a really interesting album if we did it the opposite and seen how it would have came out. But I am no Zach. I am no Ricky. Those 2 are just, I'm so incredibly lucky to have an amazing band. So if I sound like garbage one night, for the most part, I kind of get away with it because of what I do and because my band is everywhere. So it's like the biggest distraction. It's like the best magic, right? You're looking over here, but really everything's going on over here, you know? So that's and I'm sure they feel the same way. Like, ew, I messed up that note, but no one's going to know because Benny just like did something stupid in front of everybody. And now they're all looking at him.
I'm up on top of the bar again.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the cuddle puddle. And I realized that it's gotten so big because of the weight, because I literally fall asleep for about 2 seconds because I need to catch my breath. And I realize a couple things. One, somebody's probably laying on my crotch right now, which is super strange. I never would have thought would have happened.
My bad. Sorry about that.
It's always Eric. Eric's protecting. He's my bodyguard. He's my private bodyguard. My private dancer.
I was gonna go with the Tina Turner song.
He's the bodyguard. Yeah, absolutely. Winnie Houston, right? And then
There you go.
yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that, and then also like weight, like actual weight on me. Like there was like 100 people laying down in the middle of a punk show. Who would have thunk? You know, with all the craziness that, like, because that's a big thing. Like I try to tell like people who are going in bands now, like you need to do something that's going to separate you from everybody else. Right? You got to have something, because the sad part is, and I know you all could agree with this, good music only gets you, like, you could be the amazing musicians, but that only gets you so far, right? You need to have like something like Billy Joe Armstrong is a perfect example of this. Every show you go see, he is nuts. He is just pure energy release every show he plays. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to like sacrifice your body every night for, you know, for an hour and sweat all over people and fall and have everybody pick you up. But like, you got to have something that separates you, right? Because eventually you're going to play with really good bands too. So what's going to separate you from the other good bands that you're going to play with? Because the the realization is going to happen is you're eventually going to get out of the local scene. You're going to start playing with that like next tier, and like you have to stand out, not to show them up, but to give people something that's going to want them to come back to.
That's right.
Disco. That's why we're going back to disco, baby. Disco.
So at
Disco
least
was a small time that everybody loved but hated at the same time. That's what The Boy Detective is. You love to hate us. It's like the perfect scenario.
And speaking of disco death, Janice, weren't you so curious about the artwork? I know we talked
I
about
am.
it, but I
Yeah,
know
we touched on it earlier, but
shut up about it. So what do you got?
so we were wondering what the concept was behind the album art.
Oh, the album art is wonderful. I'm going back, Maggie. This is a lot of Maggie. Now, we did give Maggie like blueprints. We're like, okay, this is kind of what we want. We want this cafe scene with like the open diner where you're seeing people like a jukebox. But we wanted certain things that represent some of the songs. So if you look close, you're going to see a couple things. One, you're going to see two dreadlocked people that have dreads, and they're literally sharing a sundae in the art. Those are a representation of Roger and Jay Navarro, two very special people that have kind of sculpted us into the band that we are. So we thought we nod them. If I get a cease and desist because I just said that, I'm sorry. We'll put duct tape over both their faces if we have to. I'm sure they'll be flattered. The second thing you're going to notice is the politician. And he's holding a flag upside down, flag with the heart upside down. And then the cop who's not wearing any shoes, which we have two songs that explain that. One's called The Buckley Smile, which Roger actually appears on for all of you listeners eventually. He actually does sing on it, which is absolutely wonderful. And I remember getting him to sing, and he said, if it makes sense, I'm cool with it. That was his thing. Like, as long as it makes sense, I'm cool with it. But if you're just like adding me to add me, I'm not going to do it. Well, for Buckley Smile, we had an open part that he was like, no, you got to have some sort of melody here, because it comes in and I'm hearing, and he hummed something. So we put the words together and we're like, well, you already hummed it. Why don't you sing it? He was like, fine. And so it was funny because he was when he read what we wrote, he's like, I got to read this. Like, I'm going to lose my punk card, because one of the lines he sings, and sorry if one of you is going to talk about this later. You prove my mother right. The worst part of all is that you prove my mother right. And he's like, I got to say that. And he did. It's proven. It's on there. He gave us permission. He's been wonderful. He was a lot of fun. But yes, so Buckley Smile, which was a politician, I think in the 80s or 70s. You can look him up, and he had this like incriminating smile. So that was kind of our thought there. And with everything going on, I don't think I have to explain myself further, right? I think we're all on the same. Okay, perfect. And then the cop without the shoes is actually a twofer, as we like to put it in the showbiz. One is because we have a song, TAGNC, right? TAGNC. There are no good cops. That is the song. There are no good cops. There are no good. Yeah, I probably did the letters wrong, but you get the gist. And the idea in that song is, the main concept is, if bad cops go unchallenged, there are no good cops. This idea that as long as people are willing, and the criminal justice system is willing to like slap the wrist of bad cops and then put them back out, then there are no good cops. And so that, and then the last one is, what are you, the shoe police? So he's not wearing shoes. So that was a nod to two songs there. There is Beth Truss, which is, I can't remember the movie. Nick, I'm sorry. Nick loves rom-coms. He loves rom-coms. And one of them, he's probably like Ben. The one of the lead characters in the movie is Beth Truss, and that's where that came from. And she's sitting at the diner table next to a guy that has a hatchet in his back, which is another song of ours called Hatchet in this new one.
Hmm.
Not the Gary Paulson novel. Sorry, I should make that abundantly clear, because it's Hatchet in quotations, not the Gary Paulson novel. And then there's a Haunted House poster. One of our songs is called Haunted House.
Yep.
It was going to be called something else, which would have been better, but we were worried that A, it was too long, and B, we were actually going to put 9 Inch Nails in it, and we didn't want any problems with that. It was going to be, I'm going to say it wrong.
You can say it. Do you want me to say it?
No,
for you?
I don't remember what the actual I effed you in a haunted house by
No, I thought it was I want to F you in a
Yes,
haunted.
there you go. I want to F you in a haunted house by 9 Inch Nails.
We can say fuck no way.
I know, I just
And for the record, Beth Ross was a character in the 1985 movie Better Off Dead.
That's it. Better Off Dead. That's it. Thank you so much. Because Nick will hate me if I didn't. And then we had to put in Waldo. So we put in an emo Waldo in the corner just because, for fun. There's a lot of little hidden things. One of the things that Maggie did, because she's a Limp Bizkit fan, I know this is exactly why she did it. There's a $3 bill in one of those bills that are coming out of the jukebox. There's obviously the disco guy. What else? There's more. There's a Goodyear clock, and one of the songs is called Goodyear, like the Goodyear like tire brand.
Yeah.
Another one is there's a 75 mile an hour, which is a nod to American Farts. And then if you look, there's a Michigan map, and there's 2 dots on it. One is a heart for there's a dot for Southeast Michigan, and then there's a heart for Ida, Michigan.
Aww.
And that's where I come from. And the heart on Ida is track 1 is called a theme song from an Ida garage. Yep. Which is where we practice, in an Ida garage. So that's our little nod to my hometown.
I saw you play in Ida once, actually.
Now the poster, which people haven't seen, is even cooler, because one of the big things that we didn't want to do is put us as characters in the actual art for the album. But what we wanted to do is in the parking lot, which if it zooms out to, you see a little bit of the parking lot, and all of us in the detectives are in there drawn differently, which is really, really neat. The horns are in a gang. So they're dressed as like a gang with horns. I'm literally standing up against a hearse eating fries. Nick is on his moped because he loved mopeds, and he's doing like a trick with a cape. And Ricky's got a sign that says bassist are people too. I think, and it's Zach's playing on like what you'd see outside when somebody's like banging on those Ace buckets and stuff, like a drummer would do to try to get some money, some panhandle out there. And then the cool thing,
busking.
Yeah, there you go. And the cool thing is the back one, because the back one is at night. And disco ball was breaking out of the window. That was, I guess, the main thing I should have said, right, in the art. But in the back, that window has been boarded up, and it says "Gone to Protest," which obviously is like a nod to today and everybody who's fighting the good fight. Absolutely. That's Maggie, and she did a wonderful job. And Maggie, if you're listening to this, thank you so much, because I've literally had to like ask her to change so much stuff, and she's been such a sweetheart about it.
How did you find her? Have you worked with her before? Or?
We have not worked with her before, but our drummer is in another band called B Plot, which, by the way, I do want to. Can I give a shout out to all the other bands that we're in?
Please do, because there's
crazy
bands out there.
So I am technically in another band that's on hiatus, but still will eventually play music called Capaul. You can check us out on all streaming things with my brothers. Ricky is in 2 different things. He's in a solo project that just came out with an album, Held Strong.
Steady.
Thank you. Held Steady. Sorry, Ricky's listening to this. And he's also in Candor. And then Seth is in Geranium Red, and Emily is in 2 bands. She's in it's not a quartet. It's a quintet. It's a quintet. Can't think of what the name is, but she plays with 6 other brass members. and they do some cool stuff. She plays baritone in that. And then she's also in a newish ska punk band out of Monroe of up and coming musicians called Wipeout. So she's in that too. I think I said it. And then Zaxxon B Plot. So B Plot's album came out a couple of years ago, and she did the art for that, and we just loved it. And so we did use her for one shirt design. I guess I'm false. If any of you have the purple shirt where the kid is puking on the dad, she did that.
Love that shirt.
She did that artwork.
And it glows in the dark too, which is the best part.
It does glow in the dark.
That shirt.
But yeah, so Maggie is just, and I asked her, I said, Maggie, would you be willing to do this? But it's going to be a lot. She said, yeah, absolutely. I was like, oh God, I don't think she knows what she's in for. And she was so generous. She felt bad for even asking for like compensation. I could tell. And I was like, you deserve so much more. I wish I could give you so much more. So Maggie, thank you so much. There's your answer.
It sounds busy as hell, which I absolutely love for band art.
Oh, it's so good. And it's just like with the disco thing, you could do so much. You know what I mean? Like so much. And it's so fun. Like just this idea. Yeah.
I bet that if this was on vinyl, I bet that like holding this and looking at it would be so amazing. Has that gone on sale yet? Can people pre-order that?
Oh, yes. So you can pre-order the LP. There comes in right now 4 different styles and flavors. Because it's lunchtime, right? So lunch is on us. So there is a purple vinyl. There is a pink vinyl. There is a really cool, neat black and white checkered vinyl. And the coolest one, in my opinion, just because I know Maggie did it. Maggie also made a art one. That's really cool. Is that Dry Bones? Kind of looks like Dry Bones. It's really cool. Is there a Dakar? It's like a skeleton, skull, something. I don't know. It looks like Dry Bones. Anyways. And then there's graphic art of a disco ball with the boy detective. That's a special one. I can't think of what it's called. And then there's also CDs. So if you're still looking to buy something to help us out, but maybe the LP is a little out of your price range, or maybe you don't have an LP or a player, get a CD. Please help us out. And if Brandon's listening, there may, no promises, but there may be a cool shirt design coming. I don't know. We'll see.
Can I see the shirt that you're wearing, Benny?
Oh, yeah. It says, let's go, girls.
Okay. I saw the disco ball. Thought maybe you were giving us a sneak peek.
I wish. No, I just, my wife likes to go thrifting. She does a wonderful job. Danielle, I love you. And she got this and she brought it home. And I said, Den, can I steal that shirt? Because my fans would love that shirt. And they're like,
it seems like that'd be a roller derby shirt.
I'm sure it was. Or I'm sure it was some Shania Twain fan. Let's go, girls. Dun, 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 dun. Right? No? Nobody? Nobody?
Yeah.
I went off audio. I
Okay.
got you. I got your point. I got your reference.
Okay, got
I
it.
know it. I'm not going to sing it, but I know it.
Please do. Please
So
do.
my mother loved Shania Twain when we were growing up. So she had the albums. We had to listen to it a lot. It's either that or my dad would play Beach Boys or Pink Floyd. So that's what we listened to. What's next? What's next on the docket? I don't want to just talk about who knows what skis.
We should move on to the album and the tracks.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Disco Lunch.
Wait, are we gonna get a Brain and Ska now?
That's what it sounds like to me.
All right.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been forever since we've done Brain on Ska.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
Yeah, because we're doing all these on-site interviews. We haven't really done an episode in a while.
All right, so we start off with theme song for Night of Garage.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about it.
Not much for lyrics, so it's kind of short lyrics. I don't get to hear it, which just kind of stinks.
Sorry.
No audio.
That's just part of it. It's part
I
of
just
the.
gotta imagine.
Here's the deal. I will say this. I'll give you a little hint. There is a nod to Madness in this song.
All right.
That's all you get. But do you want to talk about the lyrics or anything?
Yeah. So we have the lyrics. I hate everything, but I think I hate you more. Everything you say is such a goddamn blur. So drop your fucking names and I'll roll my fucking eyes. You couldn't say a genuine thing if you fucking tried.
So I'm sure we've all had that person that brings up these emotions. And it's this idea that sometimes you try to be as nice as you can, but this is the way you feel because you're human. Probably it's not something you actually say out loud, but you feel it. And I'm sure you've all felt this way at times. I'm assuming. Is that hard to say?
Yes, we have, Benny. Yes, we have.
Thank you. This is not about any particular person, but it is about particular things that certain people have said in a lot of our lives that we kind of put together, if that makes sense.
Should we read into the name on that? Like, that's a very specific message in a very specific region.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ida, Michigan is beautiful. And if you want to come down to Ida, Michigan and get the smell, the sights, and the sounds, you could just stand at the corner of Capaul Funeral Home and really just understand all the history of the Capauls. That's for sure. There you go. That's all you got, Ryan. That's all I'm going to give you.
I'll take it for now.
So seeing the lyrics of this song,
mm-hmm.
and so you've played it live. I was there. I've heard it, right?
That's right. I do want to tell this for the listeners. They may not know. Before we went to recording, we thought we'd do something really fun for our Detroit homies. And we literally did the whole album, track 1 to 10. What's interesting about it is, for the most part, you heard everything that we did. Yes, there's little spruces and there's maybe a little thing here or there that was added. But when this is done, when the album comes out, give it a week, maybe or two, Chris Van Ash and the Van Ashes, thank you so much for all your support. He taped it. So he will probably release it after everything's done. Because I was like, that would be really cool to show the fans, like before we went to Gainesville till after. Kind of give you a picture of like what our original thought was and what it ended up being. Those are kind of cool, right? When you see those, like when you hear those, like the demos, right? When the bands like give you the demos 20 years later and you're like, oh my gosh, some of it, you're like, this sounds really cool. Like I was just listening to No Use for Names demos, and some of those incredible demos actually sound, in my opinion, I wish they would have recorded it that way because it's a little harsher. And I love that about No Use for a Name. And I understand why they didn't do it. This is nothing against Tony Sly. This is all for Tony Sly because is it tomorrow? Is tomorrow?
Yes, I was just going to jump in and say, can we just give a shout for tomorrow is Tony Sly Day?
Tomorrow's International Tony Sly
Yes.
Day. Right? It goes with the song too. There you go. Thank you, Tony, for everything. Another band that probably the Boy Detective would not exist if they didn't exist. So thank you, Tony, and we miss you.
Never ever forget.
Never forget Tony.
As somebody who's seen it live, it is I guess thought-provoking to be like, like, because you hear it and you're like, oh god, it's the theme song. We yell the Boy Detective over and over, and then you listen
to it. You know what? That is something that I'm looking now that Nick did not put in the lyrics, but I don't know. That's probably purposely. Yes, this is one of the songs that we do insert our name into.
Yes. So you do the gang chant, and then I saw the lyrics after the fact. Like, no offense, sometimes you have the most intelligent lyrics that are unintelligible when you try to listen to them.
Oh, absolutely. You probably couldn't catch any of these words.
So to hear it afterwards, I'm like, oh fuck, we were all just happy yelling the Boy Detective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a deep fucking aggressive song.
Well, this song hits you like a 2x4 because the beginning of the song and the end of the song are drastically different. And when you get to these lyrics, you feel like this makes sense, if that makes sense to any of the listeners. But when you listen to this, go back to this episode and rewatch it, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, like this was awesome. They were talking about this before we actually had an idea. Watch everybody be like, man, we thought your album was gonna be so much better from just listening to the lyrics.
And then you get to I guess we're calling it Haunted House now.
It's Haunted House. Track 2, Haunted House.
Okay, it's Haunted House now is the new. And this was my first lyrically my first song on the album that started to get me to this. Okay, this is like being an adult and coming of age and like that I guess that push and pull between like you still kind of want to be like cool and younger, but like fuck, you're starting to hurt. And
This
you got
is
family now.
This is legitimately who we are.
Yeah.
If you want a song that incorporates how we feel, this is exactly how we feel. There is so much truth to this song, and the way that it got orchestrated is just completely awesome. I love the talking parts in this song, Eric, and I know you from when you saw it, you kind of understand probably.
Yeah.
There's some talking parts in this, and I wrote some of this, so this is one of those songs that I actually helped write. So my lines, do you want me to go through it? Should I go through it this time?
This one's worth it. I think this is a song worth going through. Go for it.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're all worth going through, but
yet again, there's some gang vocals here, but it's every day I'm more lethargic. I'm not wasting away, more towards I spray my ankle stepping off a curb. So true. Every day, it's a brand new back pain. I'm pretty sure my blood is statistically 33% ibuprofen at this point. I got 4 hours of sleep, and I'm honestly pretty jazzed about it. Am I going to be just like my father, who hasn't had a good night since 1983? Every day, I'm losing my voice from screaming at my kids. More loss. I'm losing everyone around me. Every day, I'm pretty sure I'm breaking down from writing all of these breakdowns. My wife says I need to write slower songs, and honestly, I think she's got a pretty damn good point. My body isn't what it used to be. I turned 35 and started falling apart. My teeth don't fit together like they did yesterday, and my knees hurt from just getting off the couch. So basically, this idea that, and I've heard this from so many adults, that like the day after they turn 35 is when their body started coming apart, right? And you don't think about it when you're younger.
it was
like,
40 for me.
It was 40 for you? You got 5 more extra years?
Yeah, I got a little bit more out of it. But
I started feeling it at 35. I really did.
Sure.
And it's just the idea that like I love Nick's lyrics about my father hasn't had a good night's sleep since 1983, which if you put 2 and 2 together, that was when he was born. And it's true, right? The second we become parents, I don't think we will ever get a good, decent night's sleep anymore.
Amen, brother. Amen.
We're thinking about them constantly. And it's just the line that I wrote, I'm proud of it. I'm just a little toot my own horn. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty sure I'm breaking down from writing all of these breakdowns. My wife says I need to write slower songs, and honestly, I think she's got a pretty damn good point. I love that line so much.
Me too.
I'm gonna take the credit for that, because I think sometimes when I send Nick my lyrics, he's like, "Ooh, I don't know about this," and he was like, "No, I like that one," which means that's really good. But he won't give me that. You know what I mean? He'll just be like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll accept. I'll accept it. Like, I guess we can move on." So after track 2 comes the single, which is Beth Truss.
This will be the first single that gets released. Some of us have had the pleasure of seeing it played live in both Philly and Michigan, at least.
So
have you played it other places?
So we've played Beth Truss probably, if you've come to any show in the last, I think the first show we played Beth Truss in AM Farts, which turned into American Farts, was at the Christmas show with SKAgazine. That's when it started. I think that's when we first incorporated it into the lineup. Beth Truss, like I said, has been in Nick and I's back pocket. In fact, Nick will probably hate me for saying this. This is the truth. Nick did not want to bring it back out of retirement, in his opinion. In his mind, it's hard for him, and I can understand this and I can appreciate this. He wrote it 20 years ago. So in his mind, it's hard to like be in that mind frame. But what I was saying was, you wrote really good lyrics for 20 years ago that people wouldn't know that at that point, 19, 20-year-old was writing. You know what I mean? And so I kept bugging him like every year, guys. I'm not kidding you. Like, let's do Beth Truss. Let's do Beth Truss. I love that song. It was always a crowd pleaser when we were in. And so he was like, fine. So he made it. He ska-fied it, which is wonderful. Yes. And then we started playing it, and he looked at me. He was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, I'm glad we got this out."
I
Mhm.
think Beth Frost is very like classic Boy Detective. It's that emo ska punk. Like I love this song, and it really hits to what you guys have done on other albums.
I think Beth Truss is the most easy to listen to, sing along to. Pop. It's a pop song that we're doing. We're not going to lie about it. It's a crowd pleaser, and there's so many parts in this that the fans can sing along with once they know it. And you're 1,000 miles away. Like, it's a perfect line. You know, this was one of those songs where I think you hear and you're like, man, I cannot wait for people to hear this. Like, hear it in their ears, because I really see a lot of people putting down their windows and just screaming this. I mean, I did for 20 years, and it was our song, you know. And like, this is one of those songs that never got annoying to me. It's something I've always kind of wanted, and just like, even people not knowing the song, like, it's getting to the point where people who have come to enough live shows, like Eric, are starting to sing it with me, which is absolutely wonderful. Ryan does it too. I'm sure they're like, I don't know most of these words, but I do know you're 1,000 miles away, so I'm going to throw that back at Benny. It's easy. It's very easy to learn. And I cannot wait for me just to put a mic in front of everybody. And it's kind of like right now we're doing a cover of The Girl the Bad Guy Wants. And like, it's so cool to be able just to put your mic out and just not have to do it. So
it's cool on our end too. Just
yes, I was going to say that.
It's breathtaking.
As somebody who shows up to your shows, like, I love the fact that yourself and other band members will just let us sing along with them in the mic. You let Joel and I hop on stage and share her mic with me. It was probably one of the best nights of my life. So
I think I gave Ryan my mic one time and made him hold it.
Oh, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was fun though.
It was
weird.
It was just what we were feeling at the time. That was what our spirit animals were telling us to do. I don't know. Everybody else, you will hear it very soon. You will hear it and see it very soon. But this was a special thing I wanted SKAgazine to have.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
We love you.
Benny and Boy Detective is probably such a part of the SKAgazine family.
I love being on the show. I feel like every time I watch your show, I'm like, oh man, that's what I should have just came in and be like, hey, like, you should just drop the URL all the time and just like I randomly just show up. Like,
do you remember when you were going to be like, you were going to have your own segment on our show?
I thought it would, yeah, like in the scene or on the streets or something. We were going to.
I forget.
Like, we could probably
I always love those like news reporters that are on the street and like the wind is like blowing them away and they're still trying to get their like segment in. So that was Beth Truss. Beth Truss is wonderful. Like, this is one of those near and dear songs to me. There's nothing wrong about this song. So if you're out there and you don't like Beth Truss, just don't tell me. You can tell the rest of my band. Just don't tell me.
I like it.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Why would you guys want to sit on that for so long?
So the problem was in Nick's wonderful brain, it technically was released in a band that it never saw the light of day. So in his opinion, it shouldn't be re-released through another band. What changed his mind was he kind of reinvented it, if that makes sense. Like, the skeleton of the song is still the same. Someday I'll send you guys the Come On version of it. And you guys can listen to it, because I did a recording of it in Come On. We never actually we never really, I mean, we had it on Bandcamp, maybe. It's gone. You won't be able to find it now. But I think in his mind it was like, okay, we did this with another band. Let's have fresh stuff, right? I can't blame him. I can't blame him. Like, he does a lot of the writing. But one of those things that I was trying to tell him was, okay, Nick, so we can bury the song, and no one will ever know it existed except for like my brothers who would have seen that show back in the day. None of you would have been able to hear that. Never been able to participate in it. Never be. And I'm like, Nick, that's a shame. That's a shame that people won't get the opportunity to ingest that beautiful song that you wrote. And he was like, but it's like one of those things where, like, I take so many shots and I bug my band so many times, and all I'm trying to do is get this 1% to go through occasionally, and this is one of those times I won. So I'm just taking it as a win. So I told Nick, I was like, you realize this song's going to come out. It's going to be our number one song. It might be the song that gets us to the next tier, or if you want to call it. And then I'm gonna turn to you while everybody's singing it, and I'm gonna give you that look like, this is why I bugged you to do this. And he's like, I will know that you're gonna do that live, and I will purposely not look at you every time we play the show. But that's the thing. Like, I think that's the beauty of this song. Like, it is so good that it's held 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's songs that Nick and I have wrote that I'm like, oh, this would be cool to redo. But like, there's certain songs, there's one that I'm bugging him again to do that's from the old stuff. And so this one's got to go really good, guys. So even if you're our fans and you're like, the song's good, I don't understand why everybody thinks it's great, just pretend it's great so I can get one more song out of Nick. So just please feel free to start messaging Nick. Like, maybe you should listen to Ben a little bit more, and then he'll quit the band. That's up, but maybe not do that. Maybe not do that. But yeah, so that was Beth Truss. The lyrics kind of speak for themselves. I don't really want to get into this because I think it was only for the special people. I'm sorry.
Aw.
I sorry for
We
Yeah.
special members.
Let's move on to track 4. I agree.
Ooh, here we go. This is the fun one. This one is for Dane. Dane has been bugging me because he read the lyrics and he's like, I really want this one to come out. And he was also, I think, at the show, or maybe he watched Chris's, I don't know, but he knows about this song. But it's TANGC. There are no good cops. So going back to this, I want to explain this because there are people that have cops in their family, and we are not saying that cops aren't good people outside of the agency. We're saying that if an agency is allowing cops to be bad and then hiding them or sending them to new precincts, this is the same problem we had with the Catholic Church, right? This idea that there was priests that were molesting children and they were literally just putting them in another parish. It's the same garbage. Like, you cannot stand for this. These are the people that are supposed to protect the Constitution. They're supposed to protect us and keep us safe. They're not doing that. And specifically, I can't speak for everybody, but everybody I've talked to feels the same way. There are certain cops in every area that are doing horrible things, and they're getting like slapped on the wrist, or they're getting sent to a new town, which one of our local towns, I'm not going to get into because I don't want to put names out there because I don't want that problem. But I will say that even in my community, there has been some cops moved here that have had some rap sheets. And it's like one of those things. It's like, why? Like, it's embarrassing, really. And obviously in today's world, there is a lot of that extra garbage going on that we don't have to get into, but we all know what we're talking about. So this is our way of fighting the good fight. So if you read the lyrics, there's 2 cops in this story. Verse 1 is a bad cop who's actually a bad human being. And the second one is actually a really good human being. But the idea and the core stays the same, because at the end of the day, if these good cops or good people aren't fighting, like, hey, like, I'm doing this right? Serpico, right? The old movie in the 80s, right? Where the cop, like, no, I'm not going to put up with this. And then they end up like killing him or trying to kill him. Like, that idea, like, until the police take in full consideration of these horrible individuals that they're giving a badge and a gun to, they're all bad. It's this idea that they're standing up for something that's bad. We're not saying that they're bad human beings. We're saying that all cops are bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, their role as an officer, they're not holding everybody to the same standards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a result, they are a bad cop.
Yeah, it's a sin of omission, right? It's this idea that like they know what's happening, but they're not doing anything about it. So that's our song. That's our thing. That's my little soapbox.
And Matthew popped into the chat to say you shouldn't even have to explain this.
Sometimes you have to, because
But
there's always somebody who's like, well, I have a brother who's a cop and he's a really good person, or I have a sister that's a cop and she's a really good person. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, you're not getting it. You don't understand. And for some people, somebody explaining it to them, and they're like, "Oh, I kind of get it now." But yes, Matthew, right? I'm sorry that I
Yeah,
had to
I'll finish
explain
what he
it.
said. He said, silence in precincts and the church is basically an approval of this bad behavior.
Yep. Thank you, Matt. You said it perfectly with a lot less words. Thank you. So the lyrics are, I got a C- average and a C- life. Gonna beat up my kids and then beat up my wife. Frame some teenagers before my discount lunch is served. Hint, hint. That's where discount lunch came from. Beat some minorities with my 5-finger death punch, which I think is the funniest line ever. That he's beating up people with an album of a 5-finger death punch album.
Yeah.
There are no good cops. This includes your uncle and your pops. When bad cops go unchallenged, there are no fucking good cops. The second verse, it's a beautiful morning. Kiss my beautiful wife. Have breakfast with my kids. Oh man, I love my life. Save a kitty that was trapped in a tree. And then I helped your grandma cross the street. Like that old school chivalristic cop. There are no good cops. This includes your uncle and your pops. When bad cops go unchallenged, there are no good cops. And then the best part of that was my creation. I will take it. Is we do a chant of, instead of oys, we do oinks. So
That's fantastic.
Nick literally wrote oys, and I'm like, Nick, why don't we just put oinks? And he's like, how did I not even think of that? And I'm like, you know what, Nick, you pay me the big bucks for these oink comments, So I can't wait till someday we can get like little like pig noses. We can like throw them out to the crowd, like everybody wear them, and then the two people will leave. Be like my dad was a good, we'll get that. I'm sure.
I feel like you saw like Les and Jake throwing out clown noses or something recently.
I did. I tried to help Eric get a clown nose back. I talked to Roger, and Roger's like, I'm sorry, Ben, they're in the back of the trailer. I don't even know where they are. And I said, Roger, just if you can send me a nose or two so I can get it. He said when he gets back, he's going to try to do his best. So
I appreciate the help with that.
I tried.
It may have something to do with somebody who I'm very dear to.
Yes.
Being way too drunk and losing somebody else's nose.
I get it. Well, and they were getting passed around, right? They're good pictures, and this whole circus thing is such a cool idea for them.
That's exactly what happened.
The next track, can we get into that? This one's a fun one.
So this will be part of my theory of
yep,
of the I've hit 40 and I'm a parent, and this is just what life is right now. This might actually be the epiphany of my thought of the theme of this album. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is funny because if any of you are old school The Boy Detective fans, you will know this song already exists. Ooh. The song actually exists on Dorcas Malorcas, and it was just called Dad to Worse. And so we spruced it up a lot and went from a very doo-woppy song on Dorcas Malorcas to this ska gem. And what we did was we wanted to write a party song talking about us being dads and not being able to do this anymore. But I mean, we're gonna be honest, this is a nod to Mr. Jeff Rosenstock out there. If you're out there and you can hear this, please think of The Boy Detective to open your show. Specifically, if you're gonna do Ska Dream, because that would be awesome. But anyways, we wanted to write kind of a very crazy bomb the music industry type song. So we took the skeleton from Dad to Worse and we made it a party song, and it's a lot of fun. It's the first time we've had an acoustic guitar in our song. There's some tambourine, a lot of fun stuff going on. And all I can see now that when I play this is when I look out into our fans tend to be a lot of parents. So all of them are kind of shaking their heads like, oh yeah, been there, done that. And these lyrics are a lot of fun. Like, these lyrics are very to the point of what kind of dads we are right now. Tonight's the night when we go out and pretend that we're not 41 and exhausted. Gonna have a few drinks and act like we're 21 because the babysitter's paid up to one. That's a beauty line right there. I'm gonna pretend like I don't have kids, but I'll end up just missing my kids. I guess I've grown up, whatever that means. I guess I've grown up. Morning comes quick when you're hungover and you got two kids who don't care that you're dying. but I got no excuse, and I'll head out of bed. I'll stumble to the kitchen to make breakfast for these kids, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Like this idea that we set ourselves up for these dumb nights, knowing that we're going to suffer. But you know what? At the end of the day, there's nothing better than seeing your kids eat cereal. You know what I mean? Like these candid moments that you take pictures of in your mind, you know, like my wife will bring up those, like, you know, someday that's going to be your last time where you pick up your son and put him in your bed, and you don't think of it then. You know, it's like this idea that like we're getting older, and we're pretending that they're not getting older too. Like a lot of these are Nick's lyrics, so I'm just giving you my subjective thought to some of this. I did write the morning comes quick when you're hungover and you got two kids who don't care that you're dying. During the time we were recording.
That's a true lyric, though. It's a bizarrely true lyric.
Yes. Well, not only that, I was really struggling with alcohol. I'm an alcoholic that's sober. And I was really struggling with a lot of those mornings. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped drinking, was so that, oh, there's Doc Nick in the back there from Dad's on Couches, everybody.
Hey,
what's up, Dr. Nick?
You bringing him on or what?
Speaking of which, listeners, if you have not listened to Dad's on Couches' new album, it rips. It's been 2 years and something, and it's a very long title, so I apologize, Doc, behind me. And all we have is this crappy EP or something. It's really good, though. It's very Capaul-esque. If you want to hear a lot of Dad lyrics, listen to their band, Dad's on Couches. So that was that song.
Man.
And so we've had a lot of fun with that. But yes, that song is a reincarnation of the one that we actually released on Dorcas Malorcas. Track 6, are we good? We moving on? Moving on.
We're moving on to
This song is my 100% writing. Goodyear. Goodyear, or as we call it, Good Beer now, because we are nodding to a Real Big Fish song, which I'm sure you all know and have very dear. Our interlude is a direct nod to them. So, Mr. Barrett, if you are listening, please let the Boy Detective open for the Real Big Fish when they come back with the OG crew. That'd be cool. Mr. Barrett. Anyways, Goodyear. Finally, I'm back. This person that I always wanted to be. This place I can call my own. This place where I'm not alone. The path I should have followed for so many years. Stop feeling sorry for the shitty things I did. I've already apologized for all of them. Pull my head out on my ass and smell the roses. Because my awful luck is changing now. It's been a pretty good year. Starting over never felt as good as this. This time I've had enough. It's time to call my bluff. I could pull the covers from over my head and stop pretending I'm dead. It's funny how my life has changed, how things got rearranged, all the things a couple of years can change. Now, we were doing this album at a horrible time because this song was supposed to be our hope for a president that was not put into office. A beautiful woman that I was hoping that I could literally wake up my daughter the next day and tell her that there is a literal woman as the president of the United States. I could not have that experience. So when this song comes out on the worst year possible, we have to explain it, because at this point, what I can say, and I've always been a proponent of this, you have to have hope. It's the only thing that gets us through these next years. There are good people out there. There are people that care. Keep the people that really do care. Keep the LGBTQ plus community in your thoughts, the trans community, everybody who's being picked on right now, everybody who's being sent away. Now there's the new thing about the homeless are going to be pushed out of their shelters, and they're going to be recommunicated. Like I was telling my social working class yesterday, it kind of seems like Poland in the 30s, right? It's kind of what we're seeing sadly. But we have hope, and there are people who are fighting the good fight, and we just got to hope that we will eventually get some wins, because we need some at this point. The world needs some wins.
Would you like to hear a win?
Please send me the Boy Detective.
Do it.
No. So I I've been working with some pretty awesome people in my campaign and trying to accomplish some things around here. And one of these people has been working in Lansing and the homeless camp that's been down there. They've been working to try to like bust it up and try to push these people out, but there's been a huge pushback from the community, and they've been bargaining with City Hall, and they gave in to all their demands to where they're going to be having medical trucks coming through and giving checkups for some of these people. They're going to set up bathrooms for them. They're going to instill a semi-permanent encampment for them. So that way they actually have some place to go when they can't afford rent because
that's
housing costs are stupid.
And the sad thing, Ryan, is this party has decided to put a negative term on homeless people. And so they are already struggling, and some of them aren't. Some of them want to be in they don't want to be put in. They don't want to go to the shelters. They don't want to. They are happy where they are. And the sad part is we are literally policing them away. And that's the other thing too. If you're slashing all medical professionals, you're slashing all Medicaid, you're slashing all community programs that help specifically with addiction and with shelter, where are they going to go? Where are you going to put them? Right? It's just this idea that we're making these new scapegoats to confuse the really what's going on. So anyways, we won't get into that. That's a whole thing, Ryan, but Goodyear is, I'm going to say, is based on hope, guys. I have hope. I have hope for everybody out there. Good people exist, and I happen to know a lot of them in this community through SKAgazine, through Michigan Ska, through our fans. So thank you for being wonderful people, all of you. Should we move on? Should we move on?
So Janice is to ask you about my favorite song on the album.
Yes.
So
And this is like a total juxtaposition.
Yes.
I love that this goes from the happy, upbeat, hopeful song to number 7, Hatchet.
Oh,
not the one by Gary Paulson.
Let's make that very clear. It's not the one by Gary Paulson.
No, very clear.
This was like Nick's, like, we have to put that in. That has to be the song title. This is what it is. The only hatchet I want to bury is one in your back. You reap what you sow, and you deserve every fuck you. If I ever see you again, it'll be too fucking soon. The only thing connecting me to you is pure fucking hatred. As far as you're concerned, I'm a fucking ghost. Just beautiful. Beautiful writing. Really, just really gets the feeling across.
Short, sweet, gets to the point.
In this song, there is a nod to Metallica. I'm sure you'll find it when you hear it. But the other thing about this song, which is really cool, is we decided one breakdown wasn't just enough. So we give you 2 breakdowns. So get ready for that bad boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We love a bonus breakdown.
So perfectly. We go from Goodyear to Hatchet, right? This very angry song. And then we go to our emo song, The Buckley Smile. The perfect transition for everybody who, it's like everything, you get everything from The Boy Detective in 3 songs, basically.
Nice little roller coaster there.
I would agree.
Buckley Smile is the one that Roger is guest on. And like I said, it's about, or at least the title is about the crooked politician that had a maniacal smile. Whew. Tonight will be the last night I ever see you, and I hope that we could have been adults through all of this, but you handled this with all the subtlety and tact that I could never expect from someone who laughed at me when I said Josie and the Pussycats is my favorite movie. Love that line. Sorry, I gotta take a breather there. Any chance to put Josie and the Pussycat in a song is pretty baller. There was a time we got along. There was a time we got along. I tried to cast my memory back there, but the feelings are gone. It's probably best we're moving on. I used to think that we were perfect, but goddamn, I was wrong. So swallow your tongue before you choke on it. I haven't said anything, and you have nothing but talk shit. Maybe it's time all your friends find out what you say about them. I don't think Jessica would appreciate the things you said about her husband's gambling addiction. Put it all on black. There is a gang vocal there. Yes.
So, question:
Mhm.
Is Jessica a real person?
This is not a real person.
Okay.
These are real experiences, but we put fictional people in
Okay.
these situations.
So Jessica may not be a name, but does Jessica exist then?
The idea of Jessica exists, and
That's
the
two different
idea,
things.
and maybe it's not gambling.
So
that's
did you
the
write it,
addiction.
or did Chris? Did
This
Nick
is a Nickel Pickle song. I got to give Nichols the pickles. And I remember when I helped him write some of this, and we were trying to figure out what's a good movie that would fit perfectly, where like somebody would admit it, and it's so true. But if you said it out of context, people would laugh at you. And Nick Good's, one of Nick Good's favorite movies is Josie and the Pussycats. He will say this today: best soundtrack there is out there right now.
I've heard this song live, and every fucking time you say that, people are so excited.
They're like, "Oh my gosh, I love that movie too. I'm not alone. I'm not
Yes.
alone in this." Josie and the Pussycats haters. So yeah, that's the Buckley Smile. It's a great song. Then it goes into a really fun song. American Farts, baby. Or as I like to call it, AM Farts. Now, there's a little secret for all you listeners. Why we called it American Farts is we are doing a direct nod to a band called Piebald. Do you have any idea why we called it American Farts? Anybody Piebald fans in this chat? There's a song they did, one of their famous songs is called American Hearts. And in that song, they say, "Hey, you're part of it," which we do in this. We just change it up a little bit. So it's a direct nod to Piebald. Here we go again. Anybody in Piebald, if you'd like to have an opening,
Piebald.
pick the boy detective. But anyways, this song is super quick. It's in and out. And I remember when we laid it down with Roger, he goes, "Man, this could be your single if you put an extra 2 minutes on it." And I looked at him and I said, "Nope. This sometimes the best punk songs are the shortest. You know what I mean? And plus, if we added, we're just adding to fluff up the song. It doesn't change the song itself." And I remember Nick and I like looked at each other for a quick second, and we both go, "No, we're not adding to the song." So, anyways, American Farts is how it is and how it should be. American Farts is also one that came a little bit out of the safe for Nick and I. But this one's really fun. This is everybody can experience this, right? When you're in a car with somebody, whether it's your lover, whether it's your friend, whether it's your wife, your spouse, your kids, and you're listening to a song and just everything is perfect. Like the weather is perfect, the sun or the sunset is perfect, and the best. You know how sometimes like you put on a random song and it just hits right at that moment. You know what I mean? Like it makes a memory, like it makes a photograph in your head. This is that experience. So we spent last night in another useless fight. No one was wrong, but fuck if anybody was wrong. But we're on the highway doing 75, windows down and the radio up, screaming, "Hey, you're part of it. And I wouldn't trade this for the world. It doesn't matter where we've been, it's where we're going. We missed the last 2 fucking exits. Come on," which is a direct reference to our old band, "Come on," exclamation mark. "Take the long way home." On the highway doing 75, windows down, the radio up, screaming, "Hey, you're part of." This is another one of these songs that when people get like one chance to listen to it, they're going to start chanting this with us. This is another one that you can't like not sing along to. And then the end is a gang vocal. Right now, everything is perfect, and this is how I want it to stay. But I know nothing's ever perfect, but we'll be okay as long as we stay. This idea that if we could all just stay in that moment, life would be perfect. But we have to come out of that moment, right? We have to deal with responsibility. We got to deal with everything. But in those moments, that's why we survive, I think, honestly, is those moments that keep us waking up every day sometimes. And it's so true, but we've all had those experiences. And so American Farts, number 9. So we have come to the last song, which I'm waiting for Eric to pop in because this is another one of his concept of this album. Eric, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
All right.
Here
Fine.
it comes.
Let me get back over there.
Do you want to read this one, Eric? I kind of read them all. Do you want to read this one?
Do you want me to
Uh-huh.
read this one?
Yeah, do this one for fun.
All right, so we're doing number 10 here.
Do it. You got to give the title.
What are you, the shoe police?
There we go.
I mean, he just got it.
I like the gumshoe idea. Like, come in here.
Come on.
So when I say that I love you, it means without end, no matter who you grow up to be, even if you're a cop or an influencer, I love you endlessly. I can't believe that you just handed you to me. Didn't even have to take a test or anything. No prerequisites, no baby 101. I must have missed the day that I should have signed up. But the lack of education never hurt me none. Because the most important lesson was I can't believe you're growing up like me. I didn't pressure you to see things my own way. Nothing I say means a damn thing to you now. But I hope one day you'll look back and see these choices I made, they served to make you into something I could change everything. Aww.
So any of us that are a parent,
I think this is like the whole. I really think you went from track 1 to track 10. You brought it along. And I'll shut up and let you explain it.
no, Eric, you nailed it. And I'll be honest with you, Nick and I have had many conversations about our children. And one of the big things that adults, specifically adults who are actual, you know what I mean? Like you can have a kid and be a father, but you're not really a father, right? You can have a kid and be a mother, but you're not always a mother. But when you have conversations with people who are fathers and mothers, and I mean that in the dearest and nearest way, you talk about your children and you bring up certain things that just bug the living shit out of you about them. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because the one thing that can never be torn apart from a parent and their child, and I'm talking about real parents, I'm putting the quotation on if you get my drift, they can become whatever, they can do whatever they want to, sadly, and you're going to love them because you made a promise internally and externally the day that they were conceived. And so there is this idea that we're talking about bad cops and we're talking about a bad government system, but we're literally at the end going back on everything we're saying because we're saying that our kids might end up being those people.
Yeah.
And it won't change that we love them. It will not change that it's that idea that we hope the best for them. And that's where it all comes to thing. Nothing I say means a damn thing to you now, but I hope one day you'll look back and see that these choices I made, they serve to make you into somebody that could change everything. The idea that we would love to change the world, but we might be too late. But if we start raising our children with these empathetic big hearts that care about people, they might be able to really do the damage and make this world a better place. But but go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that was, I mean, I've said this since sometime during COVID when I saw the younger generation kind of stepping up and being like, you know, we're gonna stand up for some shit here. Like I think you're dead on. I think that the next generations and our kids are the ones that can literally change the world.
I'm not saying we're all this way, and I mean this in only the biggest love, but I think we started trying to make the change, but a lot of us weren't born or taught that way. We had to learn it ourselves. So imagine what we can do with our children, giving them these tools to begin with, right? This idea that like we were born into this and we realized it was wrong. Please, we are not going to teach you that this is supposed to be right, and then you have to spend 20 of your years trying to find out that it was wrong. You know what I mean? This is the biggest problem. It's the nature versus nurture. So we can start actually teaching our children it's okay to talk about feelings. It's okay to stand up for your classmate. Stop bullying. Stop treating each other like garbage. Start actually supporting each other. And like actually be in this world that we say that we are and we're not, right? And so like us are starting to speak out and it's one of those things where it's like we have that possibility, and there's a lot of responsibility behind that. But it's also like, as much as we can try to make our kids good people, it's not necessarily that they're going to be the people that we want them to be.
Sure.
So we started this with Unrealized Gains, right? That was kind of the precursor to this song. But this song was a direct, here's our nod to Mineral, because we wanted to have a really cool interlude exit of this crazy, just everything just building up. And this was one of the songs that actually changed, because Nick and I originally had a plan to do like, I'm not speaking about this band other than they do wonderful back and forth, but Brand New, you know, Brand New always have the like the 3-part harmonies and stuff where they like they sing on top of, they layer a ton, and they did it perfectly. We wanted something like that. We wanted this idea that was just Nick and I starting to scream and build up this idea, and when we got in, I did my part, and I remember Roger going, we're going to leave it at that, because sometimes less is more. And that's sometimes hard for Nick and I to see that. So it would be interesting, you know, it's one of those things like now, if we had all the time in the world, it would have been cool to hear both sides and see which one would have been better. But I'm very happy with the what we got. I'm very, very happy with it. I wouldn't change it. Like if we had to pick and go back, I wouldn't. But it would have been cool if we had the time. It's one of those things to see what it would have ended up. Maybe someday Nick and I will go back in and just do that ending for like the 20-year, right? When we're doing these 6-month tours, right? And everybody actually is coming out, and we don't have to do all these interviews to get our name out there anymore.
But you still will.
Oh, I still will, because this is what I like to do. But the idea is like, wouldn't that be cool? Like we do this episode 20 years from now on the 20-year anniversary.
I will be 64 years old.
Dude, we will be sick. We're gonna be the coolest.
I will probably be dead. But I know I'm getting off track, and then we can get back.
It'll be like the Catch-22 situation where it's Nick and I's kids that are the band now, and we're just like, we do like one song with them, and people go nuts, and then we can just like hide in the back.
Oh, can I plug something there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were talking about Catch-22 and somebody's kid. Be the Scene has a show coming up.
Yeah.
August 23rd at 21 Locks Brewing in Marsville, PA. The World's After Party is playing, and that is Jamie from Catch-22 and his son Connor, who is now playing with Catch-22. That is their other band.
Oh, that would be such a cool
I am
thing.
so excited to host them. They just released a new album called Not Dead Yet. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. They're going to play with The Chemical Imbalance, The Squanches, and SKAgazine. So if you're local to Philly or New Jersey, come on out to that show August 23rd at 21 Locks Brewing. That's all I got.
That's wonderful. I'm gonna try to be a little short on the rest of this, because we've already gone pretty far, pretty long along. So let's wrap this all together. So first things first, how this is going to unroll. Our album is coming out on November 7th. That is when Disco Lunch officially comes out on all streaming. Hopefully that week or that day, you're sitting in your house and you get to open up one of these beautiful LPs at that point. That's November 7th. Now, leading up to that, starting with next month, Beth Truss releases on August 15th.
Yes.
Goodyear releases on September 12th. American Farts releases on October 10th. So you're going to get one song leading up to the release. So you're going to get 3 songs in 3 months leading up to November, which will be on the.
Is there any shows coming up to support this?
So here's what we decided on that.
Okay.
We decided we wanted to do a long weekender for that. I think everybody deserves it, including us in the band. So here is our goals. We don't have 100% sure where the actual venue is going to be, but we do know that at this point, the locations of all 4 of the shows. So the first show is going to be, and this is if you've got your calendars out, November 13th, which is a Thursday, we will be down in Toledo. Now, interesting part of that, there's a twofer for that. One, we love Toledo. It's other than Detroit, it's our home because Ida's literally in the middle of these two.
That's
But secondly, when we released Art Theft, we released it in Toledo. The other cool part about that is, so we're redoing that. If you remember, we had a band play with us for our Art Theft release in Toledo. Do you guys remember? Anybody?
no.
The
Wait,
Traders, Jay Navarro and the Traders will be
Is it
playing that
Traders,
show
right?
with us down in Toledo, opening it up again. And we'll probably have dads on couches. So it'll be my brothers will be there, Jay and Eric and Ken.
I'm pretty confident
them.
that the couches will be there because they told me they would be there.
They will be there. Well, I'm going to force them. They are my brothers, so they're
I'm
gonna
trying to get them to play. Oh shit! Foreshadowing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Thursday is going to start, and we're hoping, and if they're listening out there, and I'm sorry if I'm putting more, we're hoping Sorry Sweetheart comes up from Denver and does all 4 shows with us. That they're working it out right now with their schematics.
Jess is gonna have to take a trip.
Jess is going to have to
Please.
take a trip.
Is that you, Jess, or is it?
Yeah, that's me, Jess.
Come to Toledo.
I mean, we have an
Oh,
unannounced
fuck
show.
yeah! Come to Kazoo.
We have an unannounced show here on Wednesday,
you gotta go
November
farther with
12th.
that, Eric.
That is going to be great, but I might have to come to all 4 of those shows.
And then I'm personally.
Oh
invested
man, you're
in
gonna do the follow. You're gonna do the whole.
I
tour?
might have to.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick.
Exactly.
I'll get you on the guest list if you go to all 4.
Mm.
All right, I won't get you on the guest list. No big deal.
I'll make you pay for Kazoo. Just so
So Thursday will be Toledo, and then Friday, Mr. Eric over there is getting us a spot in Kalamazoo for the Friday show.
it's going to be the best show of the.
It's going to be the best one. Of course
Yes.
it is. So, and we haven't played at Kazoo yet. It's the first actual show in Kazoo. This is going to be wonderful. Then we're going to go down to Chicago for Saturday. That'll be the 15th. And then the last show is going to be for the homies in Detroit in a basement on the 16th. So we're going to have a basement show to close it out, which would be a lot of fun on Sunday.
More fun than Kalamazoo?
No,
Okay.
different fun.
I put you in a bad spot by saying
You
that.
know what, Eric? It's been a pretty good year. I'm pretty excited about this. You don't understand how excited I am for all this. And Eric,
Aw.
thank you so much for helping us out with that.
We have
Awesome.
some listeners asking for Philadelphia.
Okay.
Is
Phil,
that you, Jess?
well,
Is that
here's
what-
the deal. So let me go
No.
into, can I go into my quick tangent real quick?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Now, when you do the episode, if you can like zoom in on me, Jess, just do your extra photography for this. So obviously Philly, Croydon, right? Like obviously that's, maybe a suggestion for somebody, hint, to maybe add us to the This Is Not Croydon Fest. That'd be
Don't
super
sound
cool.
desperate.
Please add our, we would be honored to play This Is Croydon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
We would also be honored to play Camp Pennsylvania. We would also.
Are you gonna apply for that one?
I think.
Oh
are,
yeah,
Are you saying this is going to be the year of festivals, Benny?
this is the year of festivals. Supernova, the Fest,
So can I
bowling.
I'll pull it on Mount Pleasant if it's what it takes to get.
Can I rabbit trail you for a
Come
second?
to me.
Can you rabbit tail me? Absolutely,
All right.
anytime.
So I would love to see you at Camp Punk this year. I'm also rooting for Jess and Ryan and Janice help me out with this one. I would love to see Boob Sweat
Boob sweat rules.
at Camp Punk this year. They are
Oh, they'd be perfect for that.
they are applying for it,
That's the only way to get in.
and I know, and they're an amazing band. Like if you haven't listened to them, sorry for taking this on your podcast, Benny, but
No problem. Boob
they're
sweat
worth
rules.
saying
We're good.
if they are a band that's worth listening to and should be bigger than what they are. I
And-
would. What do you think?
I think this is wonderful. I think Boob Sweat is great. I do want to give a little plug out to some thank yous real quick to Middle Out. Middle Out's been amazing to us. They're also they're incredible people. Joker's Republic, really excited to have them. They also have an album. If you're into ska, obviously, Joker's Republic's album comes out on October. Ours comes out in November. I'm sorry for everybody whose bank account is being flushed right now because you got to buy both those albums. But they're worth it. Roger and I'm pretty sure Eric did their album too again. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. And hopefully we can play with Jokers here sometime soon again. Maybe in one of these fests or all of these fests. That'd be really cool. But also too, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, it's a ska band, I wish that I could have them on my punk show. Like, no. Like, this is the year of also, we're going to play more hardcore shows and more punk shows too. So if you're in the punk market, you're in the hardcore market, get a hold of us. We are
I have seen you guys on all of the above. And I will say
all the above.
Some of my, I saw you at, is it Parts and Labor?
Yeah, the hardcore night with Nick's younger brother's band, D Block.
Yes, and it was that's probably one of my favorite times seeing you at. Although half of the people there didn't know what the fuck was going on when you were playing. But
they were so awesome after. They were like, yeah, you brought out the horns. And we thought, oh God, here comes a ska band. And they were like, wait, no, this is like a hardcore band that like pretends they're ska. Like, I'm like, no, we don't pretend anything. We're just a chameleon to anything that we just do great music and we're part of the punk scene. So anyways, festival.
That's the 14th, 11/14, Kalamazoo. Everyone should show up to that one. What's after that?
Yep. And then 15th is Chicago and 16th is Detroit. And then after that, it's going to be festivals, just block after block festivals. So come out.
Can I give a random shout out? I know I like the Rabbit Trail and I do as well.
Watership Down.
About Kalamazoo.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I'm going to be a little bit like I might get canceled after this, okay?
Oh, God. You cancel me for this too?
Oh, Eric, stop.
Really? Should I shut up now?
Yes, probably.
This is live, man. There's no take backs.
Everybody go to Kalamazoo and watch the show.
I'm sure Benny will hang out for a couple minutes after and you can talk that.
And the west side of the state, really, I'm going to switch what I was going to say. The west side of the state, as far as Michigan goes, really needs people to show up, go to shows, and show that there is the opportunity to grow what could be a scene. Like, what is going on the east side of Michigan needs to come over to the west side of Michigan.
And vice versa. We need to collaborate more. We need to get better because we're an amazing state and people talk about Michigan, the Michigan scene, and we need to start spreading it all over. And Philly is going to get big this year. It's going to be an awesome market. Jess is going to build that up, baby.
That's why I'm trying to set stuff up in Mount Pleasant because it's right in the middle of the state. It's only like an hour and a half from a lot of people.
Absolutely, Ryan. You keep doing it. You guys have what's the slogan, Eric? Because it's so true. If you want a scene, be the scene, right?
That's right.
You want a scene, you got to be the scene.
Yeah, it's true. So true.
My side of the state, what I've discovered, and I'm new to this side,
that
there are people who want shows. And we're slowly trying to figure out where to have shows because there's a lot of venues that are either A, way too expensive to have shows at, or B, have been tainted. And B, the scene, represented by myself and others, is trying to figure out where you can have those shows at. And I really think it's going to blow up. I really think that the other west side of Michigan is going to show up like the east side has, and it's going to be a good time. Like, the difference is, like, the west side, there's so many great bands and so much going on, but they're happening in backyards, garages.
Oh, those are the best though.
Stores, because the bigger places are either way too expensive and corporate, or they've had Nazi bands, or have there's weird harassment things going on. So
it's not going to happen at the Boy Detective Show.
And we did not pick a venue that's just so you know. So that's what we're
come out to the KZoo show. Keep coming out to the KZoo.
Thank you.
Ryan's going to do some awesome shows up there.
When's your show, Ryan? I'm sorry, I overstepped that. When's your show, Ryan?
September 20th. The write-ups are playing with Dance Contraption at the Broadway Theater, and also at Ziggy's on September 22nd. There's going to be a fundraiser for for 50-51 in Michigan. Treehouse Rivals are playing with Central Dogma, Antimatter, and My Salamander.
Oh, awesome. That's really
That
cool.
is an amazing show. So out of curiosity, Ryan, help us out here. If I was in Detroit, how long would it take me to your show?
To get to Mount Pleasant, about 2 hours. To get to Ziggy's, maybe an hour.
How about Grand Rapids?
Grand Rapids is about an hour and 15.
Okay, and it
Hour
is
20.
worth a 2-hour drive on either side to make
Oh,
it.
absolutely. I mean, you're getting some of the best bands from on either side of the state. Bands coming up from Detroit. I mean, it's
Is
a
it
place
kind
where
of
everybody
a
can come together.
Are they captioning
Huge
up or-
stage.
People have no problem coming from any place in Michigan to Detroit to see a show.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let's start doing vice versa.
Exactly.
Agreed. Agreed.
Plus, Ryan probably doesn't want to put so many miles on his car. It'd be nice to have show next to him, right?
You're fucking right, man. It's they're adding up quick. I just had to replace a brake line.
So can I close her up for the night?
was
Yeah,
gonna
can
say,
we
please
like
do.
can we just address what the listeners have said?
Yes, please.
Because I want to make sure I fit that in. Couple shout outs on where they want to see you play: Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Eric from San Fran wants you to come out there and play with Voluntary Hazing, who are
Yeah.
good friends of ours.
Good.
I have a listener question from Jamie. She wants to know, and this is a serious fucking question, Benny.
Yeah.
If you had a choice, would you rather be a fork or a spoon, and why?
Ooh, this is a good one. Spoon.
And why?
Okay, this is a subjective thing. Every spoon that I have ever had does the job of what I because the problem with a fork is the fork you're limited. You can eat anything with a spoon. It's awkward, but you could eat anything with a spoon. Fork, you can't. You can't eat soup with a fork. And I like soup.
True. How about a
Yeah.
spork?
That's cheating. That's not the you didn't. answer my question.
That is cheating. Matt wants to know if it is a good time for a special edition double vinyl with live tracks coming out on Record Store Day. Just a thought.
Yeah, gosh, that would be really cool. We'd have to get a really cool recording live. Maybe
Maybe in Kalamazoo.
what about I'd have to well, this is also Brandon. So Brandon's listening to whatever I'm just about to say. What if we did a really cool recording and did it like a year anniversary or 2-year anniversary?
Yeah, not 20
Would
because we'll all
be-
be old.
Well, 20 would be really cool though. 20 you're gonna have like the six LPs. You know what I mean? We'll get that's what'll happen. You know how like when CD changers you had the 6, like that was the cool thing with like the cool, like what if vinyls become that way? What if you use like the 6 vinyl changers
Oh
for
my
no
gosh.
reason because we have technology, but
Are you going to invent this and become rich?
kind of want the and you have like the side like the one that clips to your belt and just these weird like refills of your vinyls. Dude, check out this sick vinyls. This vinyl collection I got. It's all the Boy Detective, but by then they'll put all the songs on a vinyl, so you get the same sound, but it'll be like, this is the Boy Detective on a vinyl. Oh, by
Most
the way,
likely.
we got a This Is the Boy Detective now. This is cool on Spotify because we have over 50 songs now. We have a This Is.
Nice. That is amazing.
So now Don can
Detective
actually listen to the full
Maybe.
collection. It doesn't have to keep hitting different albums. I love you, Don.
I think our last request is that you need a 3/4 inch sleeve T-shirt. I don't know. And to bring it to Philly this time because you didn't bring merch to
Oh.
Philly last time.
3/4 inch. Oh, like a baseball shirt?
I guess.
3/4 sleeve.
It seems like this is a middle out question.
No, this is a Philly question, actually. A Philly boy.
Why can I? You, the listener who is asking, why?
Matt.
3/4?
Why
What's
3/4,
going on?
Matt?
Just tell me. I'm interested. I'm honestly interested.
Don's ready for a box set.
Don is gonna. I will make a box set for Don. I will figure it out. I'll make him just with little notes from me.
Aw.
You, Don, Benny, just a big box full of notes from me.
I think I got everything. Joel did pop in for a while. I don't know if he's still here, but we didn't get to say hi to Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Hey, Joe.
Love you, Joel.
So
Um,
can I put this out there?
Can I close up though before
That's
you?
what I was about to do. So you
Okay.
close for us.
Yeah. So first of all, the main important thing, Disco Lunch is coming out. Please do me a favor. Please go out and get it. I don't care if it's a CD. I don't care if it's a record. If you're gonna wait for the show, that's cool. But come out to the show and get it, because everybody has these grandiose ideas. I want to go and get the album, then you don't do it. So please help us out, support us. We did spend some money on this album because we wanted it the way we wanted it. It would really help us. And when there's 7 of us, it's a little more challenging, specifically to get out to these things that we need to get out to. So please help us out any way you can. Support Punkerton, support all the ska bands. If I could say anything, really, it's be good to each other. And that's the main thing from all of us in the detectives is spread love. This world is full of hate, and it hurts my soul. Let's all have a good year. Let's be nice to each other. And with that, buy a Disco Lunch. Get ready. It is. I'm very, very happy with it. Obviously I'm biased, but I think it's our best album. It is a collection of wonderful song after wonderful song after wonderful song. There is not something that you won't like on this album. So whether you're a hardcore kid, whether you're a punk kid, whether you're a ska kid, whether you're a two-tone kid, whether you're just a kid who loves emo, you'll like our album. Just trust me. Trust the process.
I will agree. My closing is this: buy that album, buy that album, buy that album. Show up at the shows that are supporting that album. I guess that's it. Show up and spend a couple bucks and promote what is amazing in our scenes.
And you know what?
What?
Groovy, baby.
Love you.
Let's boogie. Bring them all back. All the disco puns are coming back, baby.
Oh, yes. Jess?
Turning into an Austin Powers movie.
Jess, are we good?
I stopped the live stream just now.
Oh, all right. Bye, everybody. I love you.
Really? You're going to run your mouth and then just be like, peace?
Eric, that's what he does.
Seriously.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's
Eric, I
late.
love you so much.
Benny
What
wants to do the same.
Listen, what is your hat? That's what I want to know.
I am.
Yeah, what are you wearing?
What do you think it fucking is?
Hell yeah.